There we go. So this right here is the exact strategy I used, um, leveraging this new like VUF model that I recently learned, which essentially allowed me to get like two clients from literally just like 10 messages that we sent out, right? And initially, before that, what I was doing is I was sending out cold outreach, mainly through email, LinkedIn, as well as Instagram, and doing that at a high scale. I got all these shadow clones right here at a very high scale, right? And this was the result of that. Having sent out like 29,000 emails, 4,000 of them scheduled, which means as of right now, as I'm talking to you, because I literally took the screenshot a couple minutes ago, we have like 4,000 emails already scheduled to get sent out, right? And this new method that's allowed me to go from sending thousands of emails and LinkedIn message outreach, essentially cold outreach daily, to like literally just sending out 10 messages and getting two clients from that, came down to this right here, using the value upfront first methodology that I learned from this guy, KJ, which has been very insightful. And how it essentially works is like this. Let's actually go ahead and cut the crap, man. How it works is you create something of personal value to the prospect you're reaching out to, right? This could be, let's go ahead and add this. This could be through, for example, let's say you're looking for copywriting clients. This could literally be through creating a email welcome sequence, or creating them a YouTube VSL script. You can literally search up Iman Gadzi, Sand Stage, find their pinned videos on the YouTube channel. It's their YouTube VSL, right? To sell people into their program, and literally build it out for free for the person you're going to be prospecting to. And at first, it'll take you quite a while to get one down. But once you've gone ahead and done it a couple times, you go from spending hours making it for one prospect to like taking 15 to 30 minutes on average. I know when I started, it took me the whole day to reach out to just one person, because I was literally creating let me show you here. Da, 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 da. Let's just pick this one right here. And these ones are just like drafts. The ones I was sending out are already on like the live. There, I was building this whole thing out step by step, right? But literally have this whole process built out to show them, showing them their YouTube video, how their lead magnet page should look, everything from even like the text inside of it, to the email, like literally even the email copy, I was writing it out and having it like getting sent out, right? Uh, even the sales funnel. I literally set it all up, which this was overkill. This was really overkill. This one, unfortunately, this type of outreach didn't get me any responses at all, right? And so I instead opted in for making it through a Google Doc, because what I was initially doing was sending out the link to the Figma. But now I've figured out a far more superior method, which will, as you can see here, we'll talk about that in the rest of the video. But essentially, you create this value document. And for example, if you're an agency owner, you could literally, and you sell like Facebook ads, for example, whatever it may be, you could literally create a Loom video for like a specific company and say, hey, this is how you guys can add an extra 100 Google reviews, 5-star Google reviews, in like the next 5 to 7 days. And you just send it out to them and you see what happens, right? And they'll reach out to you like, oh man, we tried it out. We got like 60 Google reviews. We'd like to learn more about like what is it you do. You don't even tell them what your service is in the loom. Uh, the video will, right? When they respond positively, you go ahead, book a call. Ooh, that's cool. I have no idea what I just did there. But it goes into the rest of the video. And if they respond negatively, that means the thing of value you sent to them wasn't of high enough quality, right? And that just means you have to go back to the drawing board. You have to go back, learn, improve your skills, and then just iterate, right? And by iterate, we mean improve your bad free value, because the free value you gave them was bad. Because if it was great, they would have responded back to you, right? Because they wouldn't be able to but help themselves to do so, because you didn't even sell them anything. They don't even know why you'd even provide so much value for no reason. And if you're wondering why I'm literally just giving this all away, uh, it's literally just because I'm on a mission to help 1,000 people get to their first $5,000 a month online. And yeah, really just having you guys watch my journey as well as I make this happen for clients that I just like these new clients I just acquired. So yeah, BK. But I don't have any sort of skills or expertise in anything, and I don't think there's anything that I can even offer to my community. I'd rather do it a different way. I'd rather get someone else. And I'm here to tell you that that's literally what you can do. If you feel like you're too much of a beginner, what you can do is just partner up with some experts, right? So here's what we're going to be covering in this module: some IPGA growth operator hybrid model, how to find people to partner up with, how to essentially like book them on a call. So essentially, this is like a method you can use, which is going ahead and partnering up with an expert or a content creator and setting up a community for them, and then just really taking a percentage of the profit or the revenue that is generated. So there is two things that I want to talk about, two different like business models that have been really popping off recently. Like they've been a trend, which is an IPGA and growth operator. If you don't know about any of these, I'll talk about them. Which is with an IPGA, what you're doing is you're essentially helping experts and turning their expertise into a online education business, which is really into a course essentially, right? And then you have the course priced at like a fairly like low to mid number, which is like $1,000 to $5,000 once off. And the cool thing about an IPGA is, on average, like the payouts received from your clients are actually incredibly high, right? And they have the potential to be even higher. And if you know what you're doing and you know how to sell, your payouts are going to be high because you're going to help your client make a lot of money, right? And once you have set it up and launched the course, the only work you have to do is really spend a few hours a week or a day talking to your client, taking sales calls and managing ads, right? And it really just some cons in regards to that is that it requires you or your client to actually take the sales calls. The reason for that is 90% of people, like not 90, but I'd say like 70% of people that hop onto like yoga, you and your client's landing page, essentially, sales page, won't pay the 1,000 to 5,000 fee upfront without first like learning more on a call, right? Which will eat into both of your time and your client's time. And maybe, maybe sales isn't for you and it isn't even for your client. Like it's not even your client's forte, even though it is quite simple to do. The issue is it eats into your time, right? if you're doing things right, you'd be booking like three or so meetings a day. And three or so meetings a day means about 1 hour per meeting. That's about like 3 hours or so dedicated to essentially dedicated to sales calls. And the more you scale, the more sales calls you have to take, which means you'd end up most likely filling either your calendar or your client's calendar with sales calls, which is not um it's not nice, especially if you're trying to build something that is saving you time and not needing your time. And IPGA is definitely not that. And IPGA will eat into your time, right? Definitely eat into your time. And every month you're essentially having to start at zero, regardless of how great the previous month is, right? You could have sold a quarter million worth of courses the previous month, and the following month you're gonna have to replicate that success all over again because you're gonna be starting back at zero, right? That is another con. Like there is no recurring revenue. So some months will be very high and other months will be very low, unless, of course, you have spent months doing this or you have like the skill set required. But most people, regardless of whether you have someone teaching you or not, there will be highs and there will be lows because like every client is different, right? It's not a copy and paste sort of business model. This one right here. And as I said, scaling with this would require you to build out an entire sales team for your client. And I've built and managed an entire SDR team and even a sales team together. And it is quite, it's a lot, essentially, right? Because I know we were doing, at least back then, we were doing about like 2 team calls a day every single day, Monday to Friday. Two, like one at like what was it, like 9 a.m. EST. I could be confusing EST with PST, but 9 a.m. EST and 5 p.m. EST every single day, Monday to Friday, right? And you're essentially having to train these guys every single day, motivate them every single day, selling your sales team every single day to continue to be absolute savages, and also cutting people that aren't savages, right? Because within a sales team, one rotten apple will make the entire team rot very, very quickly if it is not taken care of. And you would definitely have to run ads to just keep bringing in more students and more students and more students, right? So you'd also have to like learn how to run ads as well, which is not a train smash if you don't mind putting in the work required and you don't mind the fact that for the first month or so, you guys are not going to be profitable all, at all, right? And it does require a lot of it is cash intensive running ads, especially for an info product companies. Now, the next one is a growth operator, which it has its own pros and cons, as does every business out there. And some cool things about a growth operator is it provides a consistent stream of income, right? Where every month your revenue increases steadily as the amount of people you're bringing on slowly increases, right? As people are signing up for like the $9 to $99 a month community, that has a very high stickiness. And when I say stickiness, I mean churn, right? Because it depends on if you know how to keep your clients, students happy, or even like your students happy. The reason why is because the growth operator business essentially focuses on MRR, and MRR is good, but churn is bad, right? Because if you're bringing in like 20 students every single month and at the end of the month 15 of those students end up leaving because the course is horrible, I mean, then that is bad because you're just burning through all the work you're doing, right? But if you're able to decrease churn, so for every 20 students that come on board after 3 months, of those initial 20 students, maybe only like two leave, then that's a good sign. That's a good thing, right? So it's a pro as long as you keep churn very low. Rhyme not intended, right? But another pro is that there's like no sales calls required, right? The funnel does all the selling for you, which is great because it means you're able to, it's far more simpler to scale this essentially versus with this, for example, taking on 500 clients in like 2 months means taking thousands of sales calls, which requires a very large sales team, um, or even a fairly medium tight team, right? Whereas here, scaling to 500 students, you can still do that with just you and the partner, the person you're partnered up with, right? Far, far more easier to do. And this is essentially like far simpler to set up, right? As it could most likely be built in about like 1 week, right? From all the way from like niche selection to launching the community, it can all be done in a week. Whereas this right here takes weeks, uh, potentially looking at least about 4 weeks to have it fully set up. On average, you'd be looking at about just under 2 months to have, like, to go from a client saying, yes, I'm in, to having the partner that is saying, yes, I'm in, to having everything built up and running to go ahead and start, taking sales calls. And you have a creator with an incredibly large following, it would be quite a challenge to actually get an extremely high payout from your client slash partner. As what you can do to mitigate this would be to like consider running ads to increase the amount of students in the community, right? Although once again, in a situation like that, I'm just going to mention this as well. It's attached to that. In a situation like that where you're running ads, it would require you have a very strong skill set when it comes to running ads. As unlike selling a course, with a course like your cost per acquisition, like the cost to get a client slash a student could be like $200, and it's not a train smash since the student in question pays you guys like $2,500 to come on board. Whereas if you were to use the same logic here, it'll be very hard to stay cash positive within the first month, like having your cost per acquisition be lower than the student's first month payment, right? And you would have to be able to accept the fact that if you were to want to scale it, it would potentially mean that you guys would only see a profit maybe 3 months, 2 months, 5 months in, depending on like how good you are in decreasing your cost per acquisition, depending on how good you are in actually doing that, right? And if the cost per acquisition is higher than the the cost to acquire the client, it means that your payout will be a whole lot smaller, right? Because you're going to be paid out on the profit, not the revenue. Now, what we have here is the hybrid model. And in the hybrid model, what we're looking to do is essentially take the pros of both the IPGA and the growth operator model. Yeah, I'm just really taking the pros of both and trying to mitigate the cons of both. What that would essentially look like is it would essentially be building out a paid community at the front end, right? Would be to essentially getting students inside of the community. And then once students are inside the community and they start getting a massive amounts of results, you essentially just sell them into the course without the need to actually hop on a sales call, right? So you get consistent, steady increase of reliable income, as well as large like returns slash commissions from having the courses sold. And the reason why this works so well is because happy people are happy to pay, right? So as long as your community gets incredible results, this would work, right? So you're essentially getting strangers to come in, request your lead magnet. They go through your lead magnet. They see how valuable it is, and then they onboard into your paid community or your partner's paid community. And then from there, once they're inside and they achieve the result or the promise that you said they'd be able to achieve inside of your offer, then they'll be like, well, I mean, since he achieved or she achieved the promise that they said they'd help me achieve, let's see what else they can help me with, right? And you'll just probably keep a link in your group's bio or description. And people, you literally see people will literally on their own go ahead and pay the $2,000 or $4,000, the $1,000 upfront, right? Maybe to essentially like increase the amount of people that do. What you can do is give them the option to split this in like 3 payments, nothing more, nothing less, right? Give them the option to actually have it get split in 3 payments. So, for example, if it's a to make things simple, a $3,000 course you're selling, or $3,000 service, because instead of a course, what you can do is you can say, I'll give you 1 hour calls a week for like 12 weeks to help you grow whatever the main offer is further, right? Instead of like creating a course, if that would be a whole lot simpler for you. But regardless, right? So if the course or the service you're providing is like $3,000, you can give them 2 options, which is pay the $3,000 upfront, or make 3 payments of $1,200, right? Or like $1,100. That way you're able to get more people who currently don't have that 3K or that 1K in full to still be able to purchase from you and get your help. So how do you actually go ahead and find these people to partner with, right? These content creators. There's 2 ways, there's multiple ways actually, but these 2 ways are the main ones that I use, which is essentially just searching up how-to videos on YouTube, right? Like how to become a software engineer, how to become a Minecraft house creator, how to create a house in Minecraft, how to golf, how to play tennis, how to play football, how to sell listings in real estate, right? And then you just scroll down, and the goal is really to just find a creator who has around 1,000 to 25,000 subscribers, but isn't really selling their audience a course or a community, right? Which this method is tedious, but it really does work. It's golden. And then you're essentially just going to go to their channels out section to grab their email, or even their Instagram, just so you can like get in touch with them. Now, the next one is Instagram, right? Which is just in Instagram, you just search up a profession, which is software engineer, realtor, golfer, right? You just write down a profession and then you scroll down. And the goal is to find a creator who has around 20 to 150,000 followers, but isn't really selling their followers a course or a community, right? And you can speed this up as once because you send that person a DM, of course. And how you essentially speed this up is once you find one person who's ideal, you click the suggestion tab, and Instagram does this cool thing that it suggests you Instagram accounts that are related, closely related, that is, to that profile you're on. So all you really need to do is like find one good ideal prospect, and finding the rest will be super easy, right? And this process essentially rings true on Twitter and LinkedIn as well, and all the other platforms. You want to avoid people with a very high following, but not so high. Uh, like you want to target people with a high following, but not so high that they wouldn't even get to see your message, right? So if you want to, you can't message Kevin Hart or Kim Kardashian, because at the end they're not going to open your message, right? They're not even going to know you message them. So stick to people with a fairly large audience, but not so large that you just get ignored. And here, right here's a document you can go through. It'll like list step by step what you should do, and like which platforms to use to actually reach out to these guys. There we go. So now you've gone ahead, you found them, you found your ideal prospect, your ideal potential partner. How you actually go ahead and book them in is you just send them a message, then have a short conversation with them before suggesting that you guys hop on a call. Now, I do want to state I have no intention of giving you the play by play on how to have a conversation with them through DM, as the worst thing you can do is just sound scripted, right? So just have a normal conversation. If you use emojis a lot, use emojis. It's okay to use emojis here and there. If you feel comfortable sending voice messages, you can do that as well. The end goal of the conversation is really just for you to book an appointment with them, right? That's all it is. And the secret sauce is, instead of having your CTA be, let's book a call, or would you be open to us hopping on a call? I just ask for way too much effort from the prospect side for something you have barely done. Like you haven't provided enough value to even conceive of the fact that that person would be willing to take 30 minutes to 60 minutes out of their day to hop on a sales call, because both you and them know that it's a sales call, right? So instead, what you should do is say something along the lines of, can I send over a video explaining the process, explaining what it is I do and how this whole thing would work? And then you get them to watch a Loom video, and they see the process. They see how simple and profitable setting this up would be, which then allows you to actually go ahead and keep them engaged and excited about having a conversation with you, right? So we can click here to actually go ahead and see the type of messages you can send out. So we have the Instagram DMs, the email outreach, the Bloom framework in here for you to go through, as well as all like the follow up and stuff. I only inserted Instagram and Instagram DMs and email because these have been the main ones that have been getting me results. I'm not gonna put in something I haven't tried and tested. There we go. So I'll actually go ahead and sell them. So selling them is essentially the easy part, right? As unlike selling an agency service or a SaaS, you'd essentially be selling them on helping them build a community, essentially partnering up with them to help them build out the community, which is essentially a service which hasn't been commoditized as just another Facebook marketing company, right? So here is the document of the sales call roadmap, right? It has some objection, like a large amount of it is objection handling frameworks and other notes and pointers for you to go through from other people, such as like Alex Hermosi, Jeremy Minor, Cole Gordon, Temple Naylor, and I just added this name because a lot of people probably know that name. But I'd say Jeremy Minor and Alex Hermosi, mainly Jeremy Minor is who this is built off of. That's who, a large majority of my sales has been, like where I got the ability to even close deals, right? And it'll essentially, how you want to do is have it like structured in an 8-step call structure, which is the introduction, building connection, understanding their needs, presenting your service, showcasing some success stories, having some revenue sharing models in there, tailoring the partnership, and a Q&A, and closing, right? And Q&A is like having them ask you questions that they might have, so you can address them all before you even hop on the closing, right? That way, you're essentially preventing the objections from coming. It's far more better to prevent objections than handle objections. So it is a pretty lengthy document. You should definitely go through it. Um, Tells you what to do when you win a deal, like how to go through that process. Same thing with the losing a deal, which, hopefully it doesn't happen. The follow up, going through like the second call, uh, it's about like 17 pages. It's a lot. The closer framework is from Alex. I personally haven't used it, but I put it here in case like anybody wants to try it or anything, as well as like a lot of frameworks on like collecting deposit, booking the second call, bad fit, and is it here? Yeah, and a whole lot of objections for you to like be able to go through. This is quite important. This right here. Have a write down in detail what you do in one sentence, but also have it be very, very persuasive slash, copywriting. Make it write the sentence down, but make it like turn it into a copy that sells, right? For example, what I had used previously for my real estate agency was we generate real estate agents exclusive leads and guaranteed preset appointments. We will also automatically follow up with leads that don't book an appointment for them. And for those that do book an appointment, we put them into a referral campaign to just automate the process of getting referrals to turn one deal into two and two into four, right? That sounds super enticing. Like, who wouldn't want to learn more and find out more about having this set up if you're a real estate agent, of course, right? So you can go through that, how to sell them, and then once you've sold them, how to actually deliver the service. Well, how you actually deliver the services. You just watch the rest of the course, right, on how you deliver the service and set up the community in the course, along with all the funnels and everything that needs to be handled in the back end. Will all be in this course, as it's the exact same process, whether you're partnering up with someone or doing it on your own. Setting it up is going to be the exact same thing, right?